Oh, guys, I didn't say my ties. I didn't say my expression with ties in it.
No, you good.
Gotta go.
Can y'all help me out? Can you help me? Can you help me out, somebody? I'm struggling. What would be a good one? Y'all come up with one since you always want to criticize mine. Give me some constructive criticism.
Criticize.
Yes, don't do it again. That's what it is. Just for the constructive criticism.
Jeff, where you at? Give me
I'm here.
give me an expression with ties in it.
Told you.
Yeah, tie your mouth.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Since Dylan don't know how to end the episode correctly, he gives us these corny jokes like this is an episode of dad jokes. Help us down below in the comments. Tell us what is the best slogan for us. It's
With
not
ties
keeping
in
the
it.
house together. It's not what Dylan says. Not paying your tithes and offering.
You didn't like that one?
No.
Oh God.
Well, it's time to tie down these top stories.
You see? This is
Someone
what I'm
please
talking
help
about.
us.
You see?
I don't, he gave you an example of what not to do. So do the opposite of that. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll be looking for those ideas. Drop them in the comment section. We're out. What's up out there, guys? Welcome to Pod Ties, episode 5. Ooh, I sound like a rapper right now. All this rhyming I'm doing. I'm super cultured, right, Jeff? No? Okay. Anyway, welcome back. Hope you all had a great weekend. I'm going to ask my brothers, how was your weekend?
Stressful.
I don't even want to talk about it.
What happened? Is it something personal or are we talking about games?
Nah, it's something personal, man. See, I got this pretty little thing called the Cowboys, and they lost.
Well, I'm on your head, boy. I was like, where are we going with this? We are not a relationship advice podcast.
I don't know where you was going with that, man.
Yeah, it wasn't a good weekend for me either. As Jeff said, Cowboys lost, and weekend picks didn't go my way either. So there's not much to be excited to talk about today, but I'm going to pull through just for you all, the Podsters. I want to thank you for tuning in once again. Make sure to subscribe, like our channel, smash the thumbs up, and hit the bell, the notification bell, so you can be notified when we drop bangers immediately. And also, we are on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Overcast, and much more. So make sure to check us out because we are streaming as we speak right now. Oh, I didn't even introduce you guys. I'm sure everyone knows us. We're popular. We're famous now. But I'm your host, Dylan, and these are my brothers, my co-hosts, Jeff, Albert, and the one and only Kiren.
Yes, sir.
Well, let's get it.
The one and only.
I don't know any other Kirens. I know other Jeffs and Alberts.
For real.
Yeah, boy.
I don't know a Kiren.
Name one more Jeff.
Boy! There's so many Jeffs
Really,
out
bro?
here.
How much time do we have?
Jeff Bezos there.
Hey, but do you really know Jeff Bezos?
We the only Jeff we're not here.
No, we don't know him. I wish I did, but we at least know that he exists. There's so many other Jeffs out there. Maybe not Jeff Hyatt. Well, the one and only Jeff Hyatt. You feel better?
It don't sound the same.
I'm never saying that again if that's what you're gonna do.
All right,
every time I introduce you. You did not just do the whoa.
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay. Well, let's get into these topics. Of course, we're going to talk about sports because we love sports. We eat, breathe, sleep, sports 24/7. So, actually, let's not get into reality sports. Let's get into fantasy football because we had one of the biggest matchups of the weekend. Albert versus Jeff. Jeff, are you ready to talk about this matchup? And there was a bet that it didn't seem like you haven't gone through with it. You lost it. You're supposed to have something as your background. Can you show the people
Gotcha.
really quickly before I pull up the scores?
I got you.
Oh, what is that?
Man, yeah, I had a rough day that day. Fresh off the press.
I like
Man,
that
up there with
suit.
a beanie on.
Yeah, I had a bad hair day, so I had to deal with the beanie.
Yeah, put the beanie. Looking
Yeah,
like
I had to come
Beanie
in.
Siegel.
They was talking mess about me, so I was like to come in like, hey, hold on. Let me tell y'all something now.
Okay.
I had to set
Were they
this
were they
shit
ask,
straight.
were they asking you about the fantasy football matchup? Like, what were you going to do leading up to it? Your
Yeah, they were saying
schemes.
Jeff was gonna beat me for some reason. I was like, no. Let me tell y'all something.
They must not. They must not keep track of Jeff's team because his team's not all that great.
Neither does Jeff.
Maybe they were just building up the suspense, wanted people to tune in.
Y'all sleep on my team, man.
No,
You sleep on
your team slept this weekend. That's what happened.
Facts.
Nah,
Well,
that was
let's.
only Lamar Jackson.
All right. Here it is. 0 to 100. To 100, real quick. 125.28. That's Jeff's team. Lion King on ice. 144.2. It wasn't that bad of a blowout.
It was.
As Jeff said, if Lamar Jackson would have played the way that we thought he was going to play, then maybe it would have been a lot closer. And who knows, you would have pulled out the victory. But I'll let you two discuss how your teams played this weekend.
Well, I'll let the losers go first. Go ahead, Jeff.
Ooh.
All right. So I ain't gonna take too much time because you guys can clearly see that other than
It
a
doesn't
quarterback
matter
play,
what you got to say.
other than a quarterback play, literally we are like line for line. Running back 24-27. 19-16. We got wide receiver. I expected a better game out of OBJ, but we ain't gonna talk about that. So we got our other wide receiver, McLaren. He got me 12 points. It's pretty much like average for a receiver, so I'm not even mad at that. Calvin really barely did better. Got tight end play. I took the lead on that. Flex play, he got that. He'll have that, but whatever. But defense, 19 to his 3. Come on, it's not even a competition. So besides the quarterback play, literally, Russell Wilson dropped 36 points versus Lamar Jackson, which he was my only hope. I expected him to get at least tied up, if not a little bit more. But this man ran into Patty Mahomes, and he
Ran to that
just wet the
defense.
bed. He wet the bed, man. He wet the bed. That's all I can say.
Even
So that's the
close.
only reason Albert won.
But the only reason this was close was because I made an error and did not drop Denver from my.
Yeah, what happened with that?
I thought I was doing it while we
He
were
ain't
shooting.
he ain't
and
want
then
to
I
listen to
ended
us,
up
man. We
forgetting.
try to drop some
We told
knowledge
that
to him,
fool.
and he just I'm
I still,
gonna just go
but
do my
here's
own
the
thing.
thing: I still beat you with a bad team.
Ooh.
Bro, you got lucky that Lamar wet the bed.
Derrick Henry showed out.
That's why I'm
Man,
3-0.
Russell Wilson had 5 touchdowns. I don't even want to look at that. Or DK Metcalf. See, this is why I put the question marks underneath the Cowboys. Because why did you start those two? Where does your loyalty lie, Albert?
To fantasy. That's the only happiness I'm going to get.
Yeah, Jeff, you better be happy. I mean, even though you lost, you should be happy that he didn't go ahead and pick up Cleveland's defense because they played really well against Washington and Dwayne Haskins. So it would have been an even bigger margin as far as the deficit. So Oh, and
That's why my name
good for
Elijah.
you for sticking with Henderson and not David Johnson, even though I think he was in the double digits as well. But Henderson
He only
almost
had like
getting
12.
yeah, yeah. So picking Henderson was good. Maybe you should have had David Johnson as your flex, gotten you 4 more points. Still would have taken the L, but would have been
Yeah, but
a little
see,
bit closer.
yeah, it was the Dolphins were already playing on that Thursday, so like I think he was already locked.
Oh yeah. Who's your backup QB?
I don't have one.
Oh
Oh,
well,
Honestly.
well we see that Albert didn't go through with our advice of dropping Denver. He said he was going to do it anyway, but he didn't pick up Cleveland. Jeff, it worked out in his favor, sticking with Henderson. Kiren, what was your question again? It was the QB situation, right?
Mine?
Yeah, it
For
was
my fantasy team?
yeah, it was Deshaun Watson and Cam Newton. You picked Cam Newton over Deshaun. How that worked out for you?
This week, it didn't work out too well, man. I had picked, like previous weeks, Cam had been going off. He's been pretty, better than Deshaun.
Mhm.
And then, of course, I switched. I asked you guys, who to pick, who to switch, who to give that QB1 spot to. And I switched it, and then it didn't go in my favor this week.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Cam Newton had 11 points, even though they got the dub.
Deshaun,
Deshaun had
what,
17.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had 17.
It's not too much of a difference, but it's just the fact that the past 2 weeks, Cam did better, and then I finally switched it over. It's like, oh yeah, Cam gonna give me them points. Wrong, Deshaun.
Wrong.
I mean,
you
but
like that, man.
I don't know, man.
You still was gonna lose anyway, so
I mean, yeah, that's true. Cause we ain't gonna talk about that though. We just gonna go to the next subject.
Well, with mine, I had Todd Gurley, and I was asking you if I should stick with Todd Gurley or pick up McKinnon off the bench and replace him. But I went ahead and stuck with Todd Gurley, and I listened to, who was it that said it? Albert, you said stick with him. I went ahead and I kept faith in him, and he had a bounce back week, 80 yards, a touchdown. That touchdown gave him that double digits, or he would have only had 8 points. So he had a good game, but also McKinnon had a good game with 16.7 points. The 49ers blew out the Giants, and so he had a great game as well. But either way, it wouldn't have mattered. I had Miles Sanders in my starting lineup, and James Robinson, who is he's showing out. He's one of the breakthrough fantasy players so far for the Jacksonville Jaguars. He had 30.9 points on that Thursday night football game against the Miami Dolphins. And we'll get into that game in a little bit when we discuss our weekend picks. But that was fantasy. I won my matchup. Kyron, you lost. We won't talk about. We won't go over how much you lost by.
Don't do it. I'm gonna just say that Alvin Kamara had like almost half of my team's points. He was on the opposite team. So I'm not gonna say anything else.
We need the Podsters out there to help you out. Please help out Kyron's team. We need to post Kyron's players, his roster somewhere, so we can all help him figure out who to drop, who to pick up in the waiver wire, who to start, and who to bench. He needs our help, even though he's not defeated. You say you're 1-2, right?
Yeah.
So it's not time to panic just yet. And then the biggest matchup of the weekend, Albert defeated Jeff. Sorry for your loss, Jeff. But
I'm not.
You contended. You were a contender until the end. It wasn't a blowout until that last game against the Ravens and Chiefs.
Lamar went to bed, man.
Though. I didn't drop Denver on purpose.
Ooh, he said he wanted to give you a chance.
Yeah, okay.
Speaking of Ravens and Chiefs, big Monday Night Football matchup. Let's discuss it. What do you guys think? The Chiefs won 34-20, even though the Ravens lost by 14 points, 2 touchdowns. The whole game, it just seemed like they weren't as close compared to what the end score says. It seems like the Chiefs dominated the whole 4 quarters, in my opinion. What about you all?
Yeah, I
That's
agree.
exactly what they did.
Mm-hmm. I thought it was gonna be a closer game, man. I thought it was gonna be more exciting, but it wasn't. Patrick Mahomes was picking them boys apart.
Now I done told y'all that man is a bad man.
Man, but I
Aaron
thought the
Rodgers?
Ravens was
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about Patty Mahomes boy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But you expected Lamar Jackson to play good too. I mean, to give him a good matchup, but it wasn't even.
Yeah.
I expected him to play good so he can give me points in fantasy.
Defending
Look how that turned
MVP.
out.
Defending MVP, I thought it would go back and forth between those two, but it didn't happen that way. What do you think caused the Ravens to lose? Are you putting full blame, 100% blame on Lamar Jackson, or was it a team collective effort? Albert,
Lamar.
what do you think?
I think it was collective. Obviously, Lamar could have done a lot better than what he did. 35 yards in the first half isn't good for any quarterback. Finishing with 97 yards, that's just not a practical game for a quarterback. Quarterbacks usually get the the bad and the good. So he's obviously the leader of that team. So he's going to get the bad when games like this end up happening. But the Ravens defense, they didn't play well at all. Patrick Mahomes came in there and just, took a fork and just took them apart. It was like crazy.
Yeah, man.
And Jeff, you're saying Lamar Jackson, you're putting 100% blame on him?
Definitely. I mean, as far as the defense goes, it's Patty Mahomes, man. Like, there's only so much you can do. I mean, you could see, I think they were like 12 for 15 on third downs. And it's like, bro, who are you going to beat when they are converting almost 100% of their third down conversions?
That high octane offense, boy.
He's not impossible to stop though.
Seemed like it the other day.
When they're
Right.
making those play calls where they're in the close to the end zone and he, passes the ball, that little shovel play to Sherman, the fullback.
Mm.
No other team really does that. They think outside the box. They're unpredictable, and even
That's real high rate offense.
yeah,
Or
and
high error, however it's said.
they play a college football style. It's like almost watching Patrick Mahomes at Texas Tech. They really have no limits to their offense, and they're comfortable with trying something new. And then you see where Marcus Peters, and I saw something on Twitter where they said he's the most overrated and the most underrated cornerback, which was I think that to me that basically that's him, like that describes him perfectly. And the fact that Tyreek Hill was able to just jump, his feet were like above his head and grab that ball in the end zone, which was like a 50-yard bomb, and get the touchdown, which put them even more ahead when the Ravens were starting to get momentum. That was like a problem for them. The secondary was a problem. And I think that Frank Clark and what's the other defensive lineman who's putting the pressure? Chris Jones. They were just putting the pressure on Lamar Jackson. He couldn't get out of the pocket, which he's comfortable. He's not as comfortable in the pocket. And so usually we say that if
run.
Yeah, he didn't, but I don't think he could. Or maybe he was trying to show that his arm is up there with the elite QBs.
Now he sound like Dak Prescott.
It's just not. This is where I have a problem with Lamar Jackson, where you say it's totally on him, because Mark Andrews, he was dropping easy catches as well. Like you can't make those mental mistakes against the Chiefs because they're going to take advantage of them.
I mean, yeah, you can. I mean, but the thing is, drops are a part of the game. I mean, every team, they're going to drop the ball. But at the end of the day, this is the same thing that we criticize Dak Prescott for. As a quarterback, it's your responsibility to put up points. He had multiple opportunities, but they kept going 3 and out. So when that happens, and then also your defense can't stay off the field, I mean, it's in the pudding. Can't do anything about that. So that's why I put the blame on. That's why I put blame on Lamar.
I don't like that people call this a rivalry too. It's not a rivalry. It can't be a rivalry if one team's getting whooped.
Oh, because Lamar Jackson is 0-3 against Pat Mahomes. He hasn't won a game against him yet, so it's not a rivalry until he wins at least the next two matchups or a playoff game. That's why it's not a rivalry to you.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah, I think it has to wait till they have to meet each other in the playoffs, because they're both in the AFC, so one of them has to stop the other from advancing.
Yeah, I mean, if Lamar Jackson
a couple times,
if he could reach the AFC Championship, then I think that they would meet up. But it doesn't seem like
3 years, this is going to be like a marquee matchup. This is going to be the matchup that we're going to be looking forward to.
Now, if Lamar keeps playing like this
in 3 years, you think?
Yeah, that's Lamar. You don't think Lamar's going to get better in 3 years?
I hope so.
Yeah, you would hope so.
He's only going to go up.
He's getting better each year. This season's too short of a sample size right now, but I'm not going to just say that he's a bust or he only had one good year last year. I got to see more this year.
He just set the ceiling high for himself. Got to live up to.
Yeah,
I mean,
especially
he definitely can, but the problem with Lamar, until he really develops his arm to where you can actually, or until he can beat you with it, then it's going to be the same problem every time he gets to the playoffs.
That's the problem with quarterbacks that can run. It's that fight or flight instinct. As soon as they feel the little bit of pressure, they go running. Whereas somebody like Russ, he could actually run, but he has a good arm to back it up. So,
he's a pocket passer, at least nowadays.
Yeah, but he got some skills. He can run.
Yeah, he can. But his primary thing is being a pocket passer. It's just the same as Patty Mahomes. He can run. He can beat you with his legs, but he is a pocket passer.
I think Patrick Mahomes is a lot more dangerous out of the pocket.
Well,
a lot more dangerous, especially with those crossbody throws.
Lamar's looking like Mike Vick.
Yeah, Lamar wants to run, uphill.
He really wants to do past it, low key. That's what it looked like. He's like, I don't get nobody open 2 seconds in. All right, time to run.
Tuck it and go.
Well, how many touchdowns did Mahomes have? He had, I think,
3.
3 passing touchdowns and a rushing touchdown to start off the game.
Something like that, yeah.
Well, he was going like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, and then gave the MJ shrug. And a lot of people were wondering if that was him counting how many touchdowns he had in the game, or was it because he was voted number 4 best NFL player out of the top 100 of the 2020, and the people who voted were his peers, other NFL players. So he was ranked number 4 out of the NFL top 100, and his fiance reminded everybody of that and said that was the reason why he was counting on with his fingers 4, because he's ranked number 4 currently. Now, with that said, do you think that he has a motivation? Because even as a 24, 25-year-old, it seems like he's won everything already. Obviously, he wants to chase Tom Brady and get 6, 7 Super Bowls. He wants to surpass him as far as that. But he really has nothing else to prove in his young career. But then again, it seems like he does with his peers. It seems like he's being disrespected. So for this year, is he keeping that in his mind every game, and he's trying to go out there and just dominate to prove that he's number 1 in the NFL? Do you think that's the case? And especially going up against the Ravens, where Lamar Jackson was ranked number 1.
I don't think he needs to prove anything, man. He knows he doesn't need to prove anything. We all know, man. He should be number 1. I don't think he's too much worried about it.
Okay.
I don't think he should be worried about it. It's he say, she say.
He's right where he's at on the list. He should be right where he's at on the list. No higher, no lower.
Behind
I don't think so.
Behind LJ and Russ? And Aaron Donald?
Yes, Russ has. Look, this is what I'm talking about. This is consistency. Now, depending on what this list was talking about, are they talking about the 2020 players like of the year or overall? Because that's a difference.
I think this is based off of last year's performance.
Well, then the list is accurate. Now, if you're talking about on a consistent basis, then Lamar Jackson would be number one. But off of last year's standard, you have to put him as number one, just like you put Giannis at number one. It's based off the standards of last year. We obviously know Mahomes is a far better quarterback than Lamar Jackson. He's not better than Russ at all. Russ has been. So here's the thing: Mahomes hasn't had enough time to prove consistency over this league as a quarterback. He's not a running back. Running backs have a shorter time to prove that they need to be consistent because they only have a little bit of time where their peak is. They're like 25, 26. After that is downhill. For quarterbacks, they go on into their 30s to prove that they're elite quarterbacks. Ben Roethlisberger, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers. These guys have been doing it for 10 plus years. We know that they're elite quarterbacks. Patrick Mahomes could fall off this year, and we'd be like, "Oh, okay, he was a good quarterback." But if if he doesn't match up with the rest of his career, he's not going to be an elite quarterback. So there's no reason why he should be number one. He's not the number one quarterback in the league, not the number one player in the league.
So you think they based it off of like last year? I mean, you think they did like overall instead of like last year?
No, I think they did last year's stats because they couldn't have been overall.
Yeah, I think it was last year, and I think the voting was done before the postseason. Now, if it is regular season last year, I'm going with Lamar Jackson because he had historical numbers as far as passing and rushing. When it comes to a QB, I think he broke Michael Vick's record already of rushing touchdowns and rushing yards, which that's pretty impressive with this being his third year?
Yeah, third.
I think this is his third year. Yeah, and then winning MVP last year. It shows, but I still can't count him as number one, no matter what. I have to put into perspective that Patrick Mahomes went down for a little while with an injury, and he was recovering from that. But I can't say that he's a number 3 QB no matter what. I just can't say it. I think Patrick Mahomes is overall number one, and maybe Russell after that. But I'm not putting Lamar Jackson can be my number 5. I don't even know if I put Michael Thomas in there, but that's a whole different story. Or Aaron Donald. I think that I think top 5 it has to be quarterbacks. Quarterbacks, they're just the most valuable position in the NFL.
No, Aaron Donald needs to be number 1 or 2. This is Aaron Donald's like he's like their center equivalent for the NFL. We don't put much emphasis on defense anymore. Like if Troy Polamalu was still in the game, Ed Reed was still in the game, these guys would be ball hawks as they were in their career. But these guys weren't ever MVPs for the season, even though they did. So they were the MVPs for their teams for the most part. So I think the defense often gets overlooked because of the quarterbacks, because we just see the quarterback as being the best guy on the team. But the quarterback can't throw it up and catch it himself. He only does so much.
He has to place it to where they can catch it. High stress
you got to command the whole offense.
Sometimes those they don't be putting it where it need to be. Those receivers got great skills. And
most of the time it has to be.
But that's only if the quarterback play is average.
No.
I think you're just a hater, Albert. You're just a hater, man.
So you're saying right now, Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the National Football League?
Yes. Who else is better than him?
That's exactly what I say.
No.
Patty Mahomes.
Well, okay, so what are we talking about here? Are we talking about if you could start a franchise with any
I'm starting my
quarterback that's
franchise.
in the NFL right now, given any age, you will pick Patrick Mahomes over Tom Brady, Aaron
Yes.
Rodgers,
Yes.
Right now,
Russell
yes.
Wilson?
Yeah,
Right now,
bro.
Yes.
Patrick Mahomes
Yes.
is like
Yes.
20.
Yes.
How old is
Yes.
Yes! 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 Yes!
he? 23?
25. I think it's
Yeah.
25 years old right now.
Y'all are smoking.
This man has won a regular season MVP.
Tell them.
I was about to say finals. Super Bowl MVP.
He could probably win that too. We saw him balling
know
out
what I'm
at the 24-hour fitness where they made
You
him
know
stop.
who else won a title early on in their career? Ben Roethlisberger.
Yes. Future Hall of Famer.
And look how his career turned out. He has what 2-3 championships.
2.
He's a consistent quarterback, but he's not the best quarterback in the league.
He's not Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, he's
I'm not starting my franchise with Ben Roethlisberger. Not now. Maybe in 2005.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If you know everything about these quarterbacks now, and you could go back in time and be like, hey, out of all the quarterbacks, I would pick Patrick Mahomes over Tom Brady.
Bro, the stuff that he's able to do.
But he accomplished so much, in 1 year in the league.
You're talking about not right now, but if I could pick, if Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes were born in the same year and in the same draft, would I pick Tom Brady? Would I pick Patrick Mahomes over Tom Brady?
What you know now.
Well, that's a different story. That's a different story.
What I'm talking about.
I'm picking Tom Brady, but it's not fair because he's
exactly. It's hard to say.
That's what I'm saying. You can't say he's the best quarterback just because he had a.
Right now, he is. I'm not picking Tampa Bay Tom Brady over.
But that's just like how
Patrick Mahomes. Now, as talking about being right, weekend picks. We chose 4 collegiate college games to predict and 4 NFL games to predict. Jeff is number 1 so far, 7-1. What was your only loss, Jeff?
Dang on Cowboys.
Albert, you're 4-4. You're still 500, or you are 500. Kiren, you're 3-5.
Who did my team lose to?
And I am 2-6. Well, let's go over it. Well, we had Texas versus Texas Tech.
That was the best game.
What a shootout that was, right?
That was good. That was nice.
Yeah.
Well, I really thought that I would be 1-7, but
yeah, I thought it was 2-6.
Look them, baby. Longhorns came back and won in overtime. It was back and forth. Knew it was going to be a high-scoring game. Didn't think that Texas was. Basically, it seemed like it was going to be an upset. Didn't think it would be that close, but I did think it would be in the 40s or 50s. But probably one of the best college football games of the weekend. Then we had Florida State versus Miami, and Miami just demolished Florida State. Jeff,
told y'all.
You were the only one that picked Miami.
I think you misheard me.
What?
What was the score?
Like that team in Florida.
See, I thought it was Miami, Ohio. You know, they have a Miami University in Ohio. I didn't think it was the Hurricanes, or I would have picked Miami. I didn't know.
Stop it.
Stop
it. All 3 of y'all were like, "Oh no, I'm in Miami. They trash. Oh, they ain't gonna win." Oh,
them boys took the fattest L, 52 to what, 10?
Bro, Miami got that swagger, bro.
That was terrible.
Miami got that swagger. They came in and went to town.
Army versus Cincinnati. Cincinnati won. Army was actually playing well, and I don't know what happened, but the Bearcats clawed back and won that game. It would have been an upset.
Like real Army.
I done told y'all what happened.
What happened?
What happened?
Y'all remember?
Oh, you said that they're here to serve and protect the country, not play football. Albert, you're going to ask Jeff something?
Yeah, I'm saying how did Jeff pick these good picks, but can you even pick his fantasy football picks right?
Yeah, he can't fantasize about sports. It's only real live action sports. Yeah. And then the other one was, what was the other one? I'm going blank.
Oh, it was
Georgia and Arkansas.
Arkansas.
Yeah. That one, it was
I think we all got that one right.
I think so.
no. I picked
Actually, no,
I
one of
picked
you.
Arkansas.
He picked
Yeah,
Razorbacks. Yeah.
yeah. I was like, I
And they
remember
were
one person.
winning 10-5. If it's a low scoring game,
Hey, that's
Razorbacks
all they scored.
are going to win. And then Georgia just
That's all they
for some
scored.
reason they're like, oh, we're actually playing today, and they just
They took
they
up.
blew them out of the
See,
water.
it's because they heard me. Y'all remember we were texting. I was like, man, I need Georgia to do something.
Yeah, they did. They did
They heard
something.
that.
Arkansas didn't do anything.
We got to talk about that LSU upset, though. Woo! Defending
And
national championships got
That's good.
beat.
that's because their
Joe
best
Burrow's not
QB is
there.
playing in Cincinnati. Not the
Yeah.
Bearcats, but the Bengals.
Who's
Then going
that's
into
looking pretty good.
yeah, he is. They're losing close games. It's competitive. Each one. The first 3 games have been competitive. They're playing well.
Yeah, it's not something we're used to seeing from the Bengals.
Nope. Well,
You
back in the
see
day
him.
with Andy Dalton, when he first came in, after he left TCU,
Oh, yeah, that was a
they
long time ago.
well, going to the NFL. Speaking of Louisiana, New Orleans versus Green Bay, Sunday night football game. Green Bay, they won it. Aaron Rodgers is looking like an MVP candidate. Then going into Thursday night football, Jaguars versus the Miami Dolphins, and the Dolphins won. He wasn't Fitzpatrick. He was Fitzmagic. He came out and played. It was a great game. I was shocked. I didn't think they were going to win because Minshew was playing really well, but the Dolphins came out and won that game. And then we had the Monday night football game. I chose the Ravens because I just thought that their defense was going to lock down Mahomes, and that didn't happen.
I thought the same.
I'm still puzzled by it. You thought the same thing, Kiren?
Yeah, thought the defense was gonna be a little bit tougher, but it was not.
Yeah, with Humphreys back there and Peters, I thought that they would win, and Calais Campbell up front, but it was actually the Chiefs defense that looked a lot more dominant. And we know defense wins championships, and they clamped. What did you say,
I
Kyron?
said that was going to be the game of the week, but I didn't think it was going to be that type of game.
Yeah.
Lopsided, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of lopsided, my Cowboys, they didn't win the game. Let's talk about that because that was the one game that Jeff lost, and that was the 20th game that I lost in our weekend picks. Why did the Cowboys lose against Seattle? We talked about. I think then we discussed briefly that the 12 man they weren't going to be there.
Mhm.
That the 12 crowd with that noise
Yeah.
not being there, it helps. It's more of an equal playing field now. Really, no home field
It
advantage.
didn't matter.
Yeah, it didn't matter. Why did the Seahawks? They seem to dominate in that game. Another game where the score doesn't reflect the game in its entirety because the Cowboys only lost by a touchdown. But why did the Cowboys come up short in that game?
Who want to go first? Because I'm about to go off.
I am too.
I know what y'all gonna say, so I'm gonna go first.
I'll go next.
All right, I'm just gonna say defense. The boys got burnt on like every play, and that's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna let y'all take it from there.
Yeah, basically you summed it up pretty well there.
Right?
Yeah,
go off.
I should
defense.
just blurted it out.
Alden Smith is the only guy that seems like he can put a fingernail on the QB. You leave Russell Wilson, I almost said Westbrook. You leave Russell Wilson in the pocket for 20 seconds. You leave anybody in the pocket for 20 seconds. You can even leave me in there. I'm going to find the right person after a while. The play is someone's going to get open down the field.
On them bombs.
And that play action where Tyler Lockett, where it seemed like Russell Wilson was handing it off to someone and then just threw it, and there wasn't a QB or safety they were not even a mile distance from Tyler Lockett. He just walked into the end zone.
He had three touchdowns.
Three touchdowns in the first half. It just didn't look good. I didn't like, and I guess it's because we were down, but to have Zeke throw the ball over 50 times and Zeke only get 14 carries, that's a problem. Our offense is not built on only passing the ball. We have to run and pass, have the run game open up the passing game early. You have to make your presence early in the run game, early in the game, and we weren't able to do it because we're trying to pass the ball too much, and it's just not going to work. And when Cedric Wilson looks like the best wide receiver on your roster, it's great to have him shine in the game and show that he can be that fourth wide receiver to help out another offensive option. But to be the best against Seattle, who you may play in the playoffs, that didn't look too good. It just, and then Tony Pollard fumbling the ball, the kickoff return, then to get it at the 1 yard line, which then results in a safety because Zeke slipped in the end zone.
That's McCarthy's fault. Or what's his name? Kellen Moore.
But just like
whoever called it.
Yeah, probably Kellen Moore. A lot of questionable special teams calls lately. Zerline missed an extra kick, extra point.
Two of them. Well, no,
two of them.
One of them.
Was it that?
Yeah, he missed one of them, and then the other one got blocked.
Yeah. That's ridiculous. That just cannot happen. It's going to catch up to. It's going to show at the end where we were up by 1 point. If you have those 2 extra points, you're up by a field goal. And I think you guys were discussing it in
the text message.
Yeah, in the group chat. When you're up by 3 points, you have a little bit more confidence. And then to not stop the Seahawks in the fourth quarter on 4th and 3, where all you need is one more play, and we will possibly win the game. All we have to do is run down the clock if we execute time management the right way. A lot of just simple mistakes. But I'm going to end with this. I believe in my Cowboys. I still have faith. I'm still riding because just like people on TV are saying that we could easily be 0-3, we could easily be 3-0 as well. And I'm gonna leave it at that. Cowboys.
If I'm on the 1 yard line, what do you think I'm gonna do? I'm not on the 1 yard line to score. I'm on the 1 yard line. Is either safety or I got to get out of here. Why would you run the ball?
But why would you throw it? They're going to obviously blitz you.
But you have that chance to get extra couple of yards where you're like, hey, I got enough breathing room. Now let me give the ball to Zeke. Like, you don't run the ball because the risk versus reward in that situation is too high. You don't gain anything from that besides getting a safety. You can't afford to lose yards.
Yep. And the running back's already 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage anyway, so Zeke's standing in the back of the end zone before he even gets the ball.
He's in the tunnel.
I don't know where I want to go next. I think Zeke was still in Dallas. I don't think that's the Zeke we knew. He was still in Dallas. They threw him the ball. He was like, oh, that was for me? Like, come on now. What are you doing? He wasn't catching the ball. He was like, did they puncture his lung out there? Because he just went out there like he didn't even want to play. I swear. I promise you. He just went out there like he didn't want to catch it. Oh, I got to run it now? Oh, okay. Like, he was acting like little Odell out there. Next.
Damn.
Oh, that's it. I hope Odell plays like that next week because we play Cleveland.
Let me get on. I don't even know where to start on the defense. This is a common problem with the Cowboys. Their secondary is always garbage. It's like they just pick up people off the street. Like, man, you want to be on the Cowboys? All right, come on. Like, come on. Why do we get the sorriest secondaries in the league? Like, okay, he's a rookie. Trayvon, he's a rookie. I give him that. But if I know that my rookie is going up against Russell Wilson, I'm going to do everything I can to mitigate the issues that I can so that he's not facing man-to-man. And then half of the plays, they weren't even on man-to-man. They're like, you got him? I think so. It was like they just left him open.
He kept us in the game. He kept us in the game. He forced the fumble over and back. We get the ball at the 20-yard line. It would have been another touchdown.
After giving up 21 points, he kept us in the game.
That's not his fault. Darian Thompson and Xavier Woods have to step up, but they're trying. That's why we need to go pick somebody up. Someone that visited Houston, the Houston Texans facility today, and they decided not to sign him. So he's still available. I'm not going to say his name, but ET phone home.
Where else
I'm
should
gonna
I
leave
go?
it at that.
The last thing I'm gonna do. I don't even know who to go to. I mean, the offensive line. Come on. Like, I get we have injuries, but like, how do we expect a decent production out of Dak if you can't protect him? It's like these guys are. I don't know what they're doing. Like,
We missed
it's
Tyron
like,
Smith
oh,
again.
here you go, here you go. Nah, I don't want to protect my quarterback because he's not one of the most important players on our team. You know. Oh my, Mike McCarthy, what are you doing?
Go off there.
Well, anybody else have anything to say?
I mean, Albert pretty much summed it up, same tone and everything that I was about to do. I mean, yeah. Our secondary is horrible. Diggs, he's a rookie, but he's
looking like our best secondary defender, though.
Yeah, I mean that fumble that he did to DK Metcalf.
And sorry to cut you off, but Awuzie and Jordan Lewis, they were both out, right? No, Anthony Brown. Yeah, they were both out.
Yeah, they're all out. So our secondary looks like. Oh,
Are you sure?
Go ahead and say it. Go ahead and say it. Donkey doo doo.
Yes, they are looking like donkey doo doo right now.
What are you gonna say about Metcalf?
So that fumble that Diggs did, it's good because our secondary does not we don't have any type of ball hawks. We don't get any type of turnovers or anything. So it's a good sign going forward that we have a ball hawk. But he's still getting burnt. And pretty much the other corners are getting burnt. Like, it's just completely bad. Like, Tyler Lockett should not be by himself in the end zone, nor should any other receiver. Like every time you see the camera goes up, you just see someone wide open. Oh,
and no Cowboys player in the frame.
Not even.
That's a problem.
The ball just dropped straight to the hands.
I thought it was still pregame. I thought they were just throwing shots.
That's what it looks like.
And Kyra, you're right. 3 times this man, one of them, Tyler Lockett, in the red zone, ran a simple cross slant route
through
the middle of the field. 2 Cowboys players on 1 wide receiver, and this man is just, hey, I'm wide open. Whenever you're ready to throw it, I'm right here. I have an island. I have my own island, Lockett Island. Yeah.
It's
well.
And one more thing. I hate to say it, but I think we need another quarterback.
Oh, what?
Oh man,
I think so. Man.
Dak has already thrown like 20,000 passing yards. Is he the problem?
They're not really amounting to anything. So I see what you're saying, Jeff.
Exactly.
So look. NBA Finals time. NBA Finals. We've waited what? July, August, September. 3 months for NBA Finals.
Too long.
Didn't think that this would be the matchup. Am I correct? Did y'all think that the Lakers and the Heat would be playing in the NBA Finals?
I sure did.
In October, September, the end of September?
Oh, heck no.
Not at first, no.
Well, not just today. I'm just talking about these 2 teams.
No, we knew the Lakers were gonna make it.
Jeff, did you say you sure did? Just in August, you said the ball. No. Oh, okay. You know, I'm always waiting to catch you in a lie. So the Lakers beat the Nuggets in Game 5 to win and advance to the NBA Finals since 2010. Mm-hmm. It's been a decade. That's eternity for Lakers fans. Welcome to the club. Cowboys fans haven't been since '95, since some of us weren't even born yet. Anyway, Miami Heat, they are making in their 6th NBA Finals appearance, first one since 2014. And who was on that team?
LeBron James.
You guessed it, LeBron James. LeBron James.
No, the real MVP, Udonis Haslem.
UD.
Oh man,
still hanging in there.
The real coach.
Anyway, LeBron's facing his former team where he won 2 chips with. They are playing tomorrow or today, because this episode will upload on the day of Game 1. So you have the Lakers versus the Heat, LeBron versus Coach Spo, and Pat Riley. Anthony Davis versus Bam. LeBron versus Jimmy Butler. There's a lot of good matchups in this upcoming finals. Which matchup are you looking forward to, fellas? Which
Gonna be
individual
LeBron
matchup?
and
Is it Frank Vogel versus
Jimmy.
Eric Spoelstra, or players, or what? Udonis Haslam versus Jared Dudley, who would get more time in the finals, playing time, more PT.
I'm looking for somebody to give Anthony Davis a matchup. So I think I'm looking forward to that center matchup with Bam and AD.
Yeah, Bam played pretty well against Giannis. You think he'll play well?
I'm not gonna
against
be able to just
AD?
shoot fade away over Bam.
He'll
not
get
gonna
killed.
Yeah, he's not.
Who's gonna get killed?
Damn.
Gonna get killed.
You think so?
More
Lakers in
versatile.
5.
More versatile than Giannis, so it's a lot harder to guard AD than Giannis.
Exactly.
Jeff, I interrupted you for the 89th time in this episode. You were saying, what was your matchup that you were looking forward to?
So I'm actually looking forward because I think the finals is going to come down to coaching. So I'm looking forward to Spoelstra versus Vogel.
Oh, what?
Come
Time
on,
to go.
am I lying?
Yes, you're
Bro,
lying.
this match is going to come down to coaching, bro.
Man,
No, it's not.
Yes, it's going to play a factor, but it's not going to come down to coaching. We know who the coach
Yes,
is,
it is.
and he's not on
It's
the
gonna
bench
come down to
or on the
coaching.
sideline. He's the one with the ball, telling people where to go, orchestrating which player. Well, you do this, you do that, and we know that is King James.
I'm looking forward to Lakers bench versus Miami's bench. That's going to be the key factor. J.R. Smith played 1 minute in a total of probably 2 minutes in the playoffs thus far. They obviously been saving him, so he's going to come out. He's probably going to miss like 98 out of 100 shots he's going to make, but I'm looking forward to see which bench is going to prevail.
That man,
it's not gonna be no contest.
that man's
Because the
getting
Heat-
no playing time.
Because the Heat's bench is about to go crazy on the Lakers bench, man.
Tyler Hero, is he going to show out again, or is he going to get clamped up?
No, man.
Well, he is a rookie, so the lights may be too bright.
It's never been too.
He gonna have like 2 good games. That's it.
Nah, y'all crazy.
Nah, he's about to go off.
Why do the Heat look like they've already won the championship, and
That's how far
LeBron
they gonna go.
and LeBron looks like he's not too happy. He's not settling.
He knows.
With just the Western Conference
They have
Finals.
to go through the Heat defense.
He knows what's coming next.
Exactly.
He knows
He's not
it's not
satisfied.
gonna be easy.
He's a man on the mission.
Easy.
You know what this looks like to me? This looks like when you play 2K for like 10 seasons and you're tired of winning championships. This look like me. I look like LeBron right now. That's how my face is. Like, bro, okay, we get it. I'm tired of seeing this. Versus your first time playing. And like, oh, the scene is cool. After a while, you're like, bro, okay, whatever.
Looking at J.R.
That
Smith's
makes
face,
sense.
do you think that J.R. already thinks that they won the finals?
Heck yeah. He's trying to redeem himself.
They know redeeming himself. He's garbage.
Albert, did you say who you were looking forward to as far as matchup?
Yeah, the both benches.
Oh yeah, both benches. Okay, well let me pick somebody.
Just say coaching.
No, I'm not saying coaching.
No. You're on your own there, buddy.
I'm looking forward to Rajon Rondo coming off the bench versus Andre Iguodala.
Ooh, that's gonna be a good matchup.
Two champions coming off the bench. I think that they're definitely going to make an impact, and whoever makes the bigger impact will help that bench matchup. And I think that probably they'll both be in that last five, the starting five of the last couple minutes in each game to close it out. So I'm looking forward to Rondo and Iggy. Yeah. Now, prediction time.
Jeff gonna say he looking for to see which security is gonna be better. Yeah, they gonna protect the heck out of them.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, that's so funny.
Oh,
Kiren, as far as your prediction. Who's winning it, and in what game are they winning the chip?
Saying Heat in 7.
Ooh,
Interesting.
what a finals matchup.
Thought I
7
heard
games.
something. It sounded like you said Heat in 7. I was probably the water, I was drinking.
Yeah, it's because the bench is gonna get outscored, and the defense is gonna be too much for them. Who's the third man on the Lakers?
They don't need a third man. They got LeBron James.
Well, according to Jeff, it's Frank Vogel.
The Heat's depth, man, is gonna be.
Bro, y'all gonna see, bro. Y'all
That
gonna
third
see.
man is gonna be either Dwight Howard or Rajon Rondo. That combo, honestly.
Mm.
And then the Heat can go on and on, man. I'm just saying, 4 or 5 people.
Albert, what's your prediction?
I got the Lakers at 5. Let's stop playing here.
Oh, let me go. Let me go then.
Man.
I'm picking the Heat. I've been wrong. I'm glad you guys didn't call me out because I picked the Celtics and the Nuggets. Wrong. But I'm going to be right. It's who gets the last laugh that lasts last. And you guys.
The Bucks too.
No, I didn't pick the Bucks. I picked the Raptors to go to the finals.
Oh, the Raptors, yeah.
And the Clippers. See, I man up. I confess when I'm wrong, Jeff.
Yeah, like 3 days later.
But the Heat are going
to confess to.
The Heat are going to win in Game 6. They're going to win. LeBron's not going to be able. Well, LeBron, he'll be okay. His teammates are not going to be able to handle those dogs, that zone that the Miami Heat play, that bench that Kiren is talking about, and that coaching staff with the experience that Spo has. And knowing LeBron well, LeBron knows Spo as well. He watches film, but Spo knows LeBron, and he knows how to. No one can lock him down, but he knows how he. Just let LeBron play his game. Let him get his points, but do not allow him to distribute the ball and get other people open to get them involved. He's going to stop that. So Miami in 6. Jeff?
Now, I have an issue. All right. I was going to say Heat in 6, but the simple fact that you said it, I feel like the Lakers are going to win the game.
Oh, dang. Okay. All right, then.
But
that's how you feel? Okay.
He is like the Charles Barkley of picking stuff. or the Drake.
Okay. Well, if I am.
Drake said something, it's the opposite.
Well, if I am, then I guarantee that the Heat will win in 6 games.
And they are. I told y'all back on September the 23rd, I think it was. The Heat are going to be the 2020 champions.
Oh yeah, he did say that.
So are you the only one picking the Lakers?
So are you going with them because you said you weren't? Because I chose them.
Well, I'm gonna still go with them. I mean, I said that. No.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
but they may lose just because you said something.
When I win, I want my picture on the back of all of y'all's wallpaper.
We're gonna need you to pick a better picture next time.
There's no way. There's no way at a 2020 with the passing of Kobe Bryant that the Lakers are going to go to the championship the first time in 10 years and going to lose. I don't think y'all factored that in.
Yeah, we did.
What's going to happen?
I did at least.
The Heat, this is their last time going to the finals for a while. Let me tell y'all that.
The hunger, that's why they got that hunger, bro. The hunger of the Heat. They're going to surpass.
Yes.
They don't. They have hunger, but they don't have experience. Experience matters.
Well, it does, but
Eric Spoelstra has the experience.
This is just like OKC
Vogel
versus.
doesn't.
This is like OKC versus the Heat. So OKC had the hunger all they want, but the Heat had experience.
And that's why I said that it's going to go down to coaching.
Bam is not going to. I want to put emphasis on this. It's not going to lock down AD, but he's going to play He's going to play well enough on defense to be able to make it to where he doesn't where he's not dominant.
He gonna be like Bam Bam.
And then where are those other points going to come from? If LeBron,
Yes, Caldwell Pope's not going to do it.
What do you mean, where's
Danny
it
Green's
come
not going to
from?
do it.
Brick House,
Dwight Howard's not going to do it.
yeah.
Caruso's not going to do it. It's not going to happen.
Y'all
It's not.
The Heat are going to make the Lakers work.
Thank you. But
Yeah,
we already
they're
know
gonna work
LeBron.
for it, but they're still gonna win it.
We know LeBron's gonna get his, man, and then Bam is gonna limit AD. AD's still gonna go off, but after that, who you gonna
Who?
rely on?
See,
Who?
I promise you, the Heat are they're gonna keep playing the zone, and it's gonna force the Lakers to shoot the ball. And we all know they're not knockdown shooters.
Because they build whole communities with them bricks they be throwing them.
Tyler Hero, new nickname alert. Tyler Hero, Tyler Zero.
Stop it. That man is a bucket.
That man hearing you right now, he about to go off.
Like he has been.
He's not playing LeBron. He played the sorry Eves.
Who is guarding Tyler Hero? We don't know what that matchup is.
You don't need that many people to guard him. You don't need the set defender on him.
Probably Caruso, and he's going barbecue chicken.
Exactly, bro. He about to get, man, come on, bro.
He's a bucket.
And then Tyler Hero won't have to guard Caruso on the other end. It'll be Iggy or somebody. And you know he's definitely not going to be able to go. He's definitely not going to show out with Iggy right in front of him. Former Finals
not gonna
MVP.
Iggy not gonna show off either.
Then we have
Then they're gonna
Dragic
put
at
Jimmy
the
on.
peak.
He showed out in Game 6. He was looking like Philly, Iggy, Denver, Iggy, and Golden State Iggy.
They gave
He
that
turned
man,
back the time.
they
Turned back
gave that
the
man finals.
hands on the clock. Went into the hot tub time machine.
Y'all
Just like when the Albert's going to be surprised when the Miami Heat win the NBA championship. We were surprised, all of us, that Doc Rivers parted ways with the LA Clippers. Now they're looking for a new head coach, and he's looking for a new head coaching job. Was that the right move? Should they have fired Doc or parted ways with him?
You had it right the first time. They fired him.
Yeah, they fired him. Was it the right move? Should they have kept him for another year or gotten rid of some of the players?
Nah, they did the right thing. Someone had to pay for it. I mean, when you assemble a team like that have championship aspirations, and not to mention he's already been there for 7 years.
Yeah.
And didn't have anything to show for it. So now he has a chance, and he got outcoached by Rick Carlisle, and then he got outcoached by Malone.
His players didn't show up for him though.
exactly.
Yeah, they didn't show
Someone
up in
got to
the
pay for it.
they didn't show up in the games leading up to the playoffs. They were out
Who's
in
the one
Magic
that
City.
said-
They didn't want
Let's
to
be
be there.
honest here. Who's the one that said that they had championship aspirations? Was it the Clippers themselves or was it the media? And we ran with it.
Them and everybody else. They believed
was
it
the
too.
media.
They believed it too.
The Clippers. There's not one team that has been assembled off of a trade like that or incoming free agents where they have ever won a championship straight off the bat.
2008
There's no
Boston
team
Celtics.
ever. Huh?
2008 Boston Celtics.
The Miami Heat.
Miami
They
Heat
didn't
lost
win
that
that first year.
Boston Celtics
No, not
won
the
the first
first year.
year.
The Celtics did, yeah.
Boston did.
Yeah, because they're on
The
that
Warriors
last
did
leg.
too.
Kawhi and PG are not rookies.
But let's be honest here. There's no reason why Doc should have been fired this season. Now next year, yeah, get him out.
I
the
agree
door.
with you.
I agree.
Those players that there was a lot of people that didn't step up. You had 2 former 6 men of the year, and they just played like they were the 12th man.
You're right.
Like, come on now.
Where should Doc Rivers go next? Because he's still interested in being a coach. He doesn't want to be unemployed for too much longer. So he would like to coach possibly the Rockets. I'm hearing that the 76ers and Doc have had several conversations so far, and that you also have New Orleans. David Griffin, the GM, he's looking for a head coach to come in and help that team become a contender at some point because they have the pieces. So you have the Pelicans, 76ers, Rockets, Thunder with Chris Paul there. He knows Doc Rivers pretty well. And you have the Indiana Pacers, all still looking for head coaches. Where do you think Doc Rivers will go? Where, or if you were Doc Rivers, where should he go? What would be the best landing spot for him?
The Rockets.
Why?
Because the Rockets are in D'Antoni's system, they're pretty much already like a somewhat of an offensive juggernaut. Now with Doc Rivers, he's a defensive minded coach. So when you take offense and add some defense, you got a recipe for some success.
James Harden's still on that team.
He's not gonna fit well with that team.
You gotta
Are
make
they,
them,
are they still
make 'em
playing
play some
small ball
defense.
on that team? Is PJ Tucker, who's 5'8", is he still the center with Doc Rivers?
No. He's
Okay.
gonna switch some stuff up.
That small ball thing is only a D'Antoni thing, because that goes back to when he was coaching with the Knicks. We had Melo at the 4. We had like Porzingis or whoever we had at the time at the 5. Like Melo's good for the 4, but that small ball thing is D'Antoni's offense.
Yeah.
Oh,
And that's why Doc Rivers is a good fit.
he's
Thanks
not
for
going to
agreeing
the
with me.
Rockets. He's not going.
Okay.
If I was him, I would go to the 76ers. That's the only team that I would see promising out of these 3 teams listed, and even the Thunder, honestly, because I think he fits better with that team. He can turn that organization around because, Joel Embiid, Doc Rivers coached some pretty decent big man thus far in his career. So he understands the role of the big man in the league and how they fit. And Joel Embiid needs that type of veteran coach like a Doc Rivers to sit him down like, hey, no more antics. But he wouldn't fit well with the Rockets. Rockets is it's too fast paced for him. We look back and see how he was with the Clippers and that fast paced team, and that didn't get them anywhere with Chris Paul, Lob City. It didn't do anything. It didn't get any results besides YouTube views.
So you think that slow pace Boston Celtic offense?
Yeah, so you could take that to the Sixers.
With Ben Simmons as your point?
Yeah. I think he could add they could add another piece there, honestly.
Yeah, it wasn't Jimmy Butler. He was supposed to be that piece, but he realized, just like Doc Rivers should realize, do not go to Philly. You would be in the same situation that you're in now 2 years later. You would not get the same amount of time that Brett Brown got. You will be fired because that team is not.
He should go to the Rockets because they wouldn't give him enough time. They know he's Doc Rivers, and just like when New York brought in Phil Jackson, they thought he was just going to turn it around. Phil Jackson should have stayed wherever he was because he was garbage.
Somewhere.
They expect that you have that you're a marquee name. You expect instant results.
Yeah,
he's better off with the 76ers because it gives them enough time, 3 to 5 years. They're going to be actually a decent team.
This team, not everyone. There were a good amount of people that thought that this team should be in the finals right now. They're not waiting for this team to develop. You have Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid. People are expecting this team to be a serious contender out of what we call the least conference, the Eastern Conference, the Leastern Conference.
They need to get off the weed.
All right. Where should he go? What would be the best opportunity for Doc?
Not even a question. I'm going with the Thunder. Saying him teaming back up with Chris Paul, I can see that happening. I think he needs a team that is going to go out there and play hard for him, and I think the Thunder would do that. So that's all I'm gonna say.
I like it. I like the Thunder because actually the team last year before they signed Kawhi and acquired PG, Gilgeous Alexander was on that roster. Danilo Gallinari was on that roster. He's coached Chris Paul before. Didn't turn out well. Their relationship went sour. But I do think that he could be very successful with them. And he and Chris Paul could continue to mold players like Shea Alexander for when it's time for him to step up and be the leader of the team. And Dort, who showed out in the playoffs this year, came out of nowhere. And I think, as Albert said, he does a really good job with big men. I think he could show Steven Adams how to be a little bit more versatile rather than just being a big man that clogs up the paint and can get rebounds every once in a while because he has the talent. But I disagree with all of you. I think he needs to go to New Orleans because they already have who I think is one of the best general managers in the NBA and David Griffin because we give LeBron all the credit for constructing that championship team, but David Griffin was the guy that actually went out and traded Deion Waiters for J.R. Smith and Iman Shumpert and brought on, traded Andrew Wiggins for Kevin Love and brought in LeBron James. So I think that having him as GM, Doc can just focus on being the head coach because he was the general manager in LA with the Clippers. Just let him focus on being the head coach with that young team. I think that being with New Orleans, he'll have that time. They won't pressure him too much, and he can probably have 3 to 5 years to turn that team into a serious contender because you have Zion Williamson on that team, Brandon Ingram, Josh Hart. Who else is on there? So they have a lot of guys. So I think that he should go there to New Orleans because that's just a recipe for success to me. Even though it is the Western Conference, he would probably do a lot better in the short term in the Eastern Conference, but he's still not going to make it to the. I don't think that with the 76ers he would make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. That team, that's just not their identity. They don't have dogs. They're not mentally tough, and that's why Jimmy Butler passed on max money to go to Miami because he knew what was up. He knew what the deal was.
That's why you bring
So
in the
Doc,
6 million dollars.
yeah, and it could.
There's going to be some players from the Clippers that's getting cut this season, no doubt. They're not keeping that same team. If they're keeping that same team, they might as well just trade for somebody else.
That is it for episode 5. This was a good one. Another banger. Ba-ba-ba. We hope that you enjoyed us talking about Kansas City versus Baltimore Monday Night Football. First, we started off with Jeff and Albert and their fantasy football matchup in week 3. Then we went into our weekend picks where we talked about all the games that I lost, all the games that Jeff won. Then we went into about a 2-hour talk about the Cowboys and Seahawks game where I still think that they could easily be 3-0. Then we transitioned into the NBA Finals. Looking forward to this matchup. The biggest matchup of the century. No, not Muhammad Ali versus Joe Frazier, but Frank Vogel versus Eric Spoelstra. Can't wait for that matchup. Game 1 of the NBA Finals. Game 1 of the NBA Finals Wednesday night at 8 p.m. 9 Eastern, 8 p.m. Central. And then we went into music and talked about Travis Scott and Franchise, the music video. A lot of content. Episode 5 was great. Before we end it, make sure to subscribe to Pod Ties on YouTube. Smash the like button. Give us a thumbs up. And make sure to also hit the bell so you can be notified when we drop straight fire like Wayne's mixtapes back in the late 2000s. And make sure to comment and share with friends so we can get the word out about Pod Ties and continue to grow our Podsters fan group. If you don't want to watch Pod Ties, but just listen to our beautiful, lovely voices, then you can stream our episodes on Apple Music, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, and much more. You can check those links out on our social media handles, accounts, Instagram and Twitter at Pod Ties and Facebook Pod Ties. We thank you once again. Keep them ties strong. Subscribe if you would like to join the ties. Until next time, we are Pod Ties. I'm Dylan. These are my brothers, Jeff, Albert, and the one and only Kiren.
Yes, sir.
Peace.